This morning, the President spoke with Iraqi Prime Minister Maliki by secure video from the White House Situation Room this morning at 7:15 for about 40 minutes. The two leaders discussed working with legislative bodies and getting laws passed, and that the process can be challenging and at times frustrating. However, they also agreed that recent improvements in security and the economy in Iraq were a tribute to the Iraqi government and the Iraqi people and should provide for progress in the areas of political reconciliation, especially from the local government levels up. And finally, they also talked about the importance of building the enduring partnership between Iraq and the United States as envisioned in the Iraqi leaders' agreement that was passed at the end of August 2007.
Any discussion on Blackwater?
There is not.
And with the conversation with Prime Minister Maliki, was there any discussion of the former Saddam general who had cooperated with the CIA who faces potential execution?
There was not. This conversation was very much focused on the political reconciliation needs as well as the enduring partnership agreement that they want to pass.
Does the President have any concern that if someone who had in the past cooperated with the CIA, if he were to be executed, that might hinder cooperation when they're trying to bring Iraqis into the...
I don't know enough about it. I'm not prepared to answer.
Does the President remain frustrated with Prime Minister Maliki about the progress?
Well, I think he's... I wouldn't say that he's frustrated with Prime Minister Maliki. He believes that he's a good leader, a good man with a really huge task in front of him, and that he's trying as hard as he can to pull together the different factions, and that he's working through with the other leaders, including President Talabani, who is helping push everyone towards reconciliation. I think the President is frustrated that overall the progress has been slow, but it wasn't personal.
Did he encourage him, or does he think there's anything he can do that he hasn't done?
Well, one of the things that they talked about was the frustration that you can have when you're in the executive branch and trying to push the legislative branch into acting on something that you want to see done. And the President gave a couple of examples of how we here in the United States, when the President wants Congress to push on something, that you use a few different tools to do that and use your influence and your leverage in order to do it.
In Turkey, the Prime Minister is announcing that he'll ask Parliament to authorize a cross-border incursion into Iraq to take on the Kurdish rebels. To what degree is this a reaction to yesterday's vote on the House?
Well, I think I don't know. You'll have to ask him. But I think I don't know how I would explain his. I'm going to let him speak for himself. But this question about incursions into Iraq or invasions into Iraq from Turkey has been asked since the beginning of the week, and so with the vote just being held yesterday, I don't know if there's a causation there. What the Turks are concerned about, and that we share the concern, is that there are PKK terrorists that are wreaking havoc up in southern Turkey as well as there in northern Iraq. It's a problem for the Iraqis. It's a problem for us. It's a problem for Turkey. And so we all need to work together to make sure we can eradicate the terrorists that are there. I think that we are making having some improvement on that in regards to the diplomatic efforts that we're working on, as well as militarily helping to identify any of those terrorists.
It seems like the timing's a little curious in that, to some degree at least, there's a pretext here. If you didn't vote the way we asked you to, that we're going. These are sort of some of the consequences that can happen. It seems like a curious relationship for allies to have.
Let me point you back to what Secretary Rice and Secretary Gates said yesterday, which is they didn't mention the issue about of Turkey coming into Iraq, but what they did talk about is that one of the reasons we opposed the resolution in the House yesterday is that the President has expressed on behalf of the American people our horror at the tragedy of 1915. But at the same time, we have national security concerns, and many of our troops and supplies go through Turkey. They are a very important ally in the war on terror. And we are going to continue to try to work with them, and we hope that the House does not put forward a full vote.
Back to the Turks, there was shelling near the border. The Turks attacked some positions yesterday. If we're telling them, please hold off, they're not listening.
Look, we are in constant contact with them, both from the diplomatic side and the political side of with our team there, Petraeus and Crocker, and we're working with them, and the Iraqis are working with them, because the Iraqis don't want the PKK terrorists there any more than the Turks do.
Did that come up in the call this morning with Maliki?
No, and again, it was focused on the political reconciliation issues and the enduring partnership agreement.